This summer was all about reclaiming some of our space and finally tackling a lot of long overdue cleanup around the property. We hired a great crew to handle most of the heavy lifting, and I'm so grateful for everything they got done. They cleared out major overgrowth, opened up areas we honestly hadn't seen in years, and took care of the big equipment jobs we just couldn't manage ourselves. In today's video, Jeffrey is walking you through the property and sharing exactly what was done and what still needs some attention. It's very real homestead life. Half finished projects, things sorted into save, burn, or figure it out later, and plenty of corners that are still a bit wild. If you're juggling a homestead, daily life, and nonstop repairs, you know the feeling. Even with the contractor crew doing the bulk of the major cleanup, there's still plenty waiting on us. Fallen branches, brush piles that need to dry before we can burn them, old fencing to repair, more trimming to do, and of course, all those little surprises you only find once the big stuff is cleared. It's messy, but it's progress, and I'll take it. If you're curious where we started and what we're working toward, or you just enjoy these honest, unpolished homestead updates, come along for the walk. And before we jump in, if you enjoy following our journey and want to see more of our real life projects, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next.
This summer, we got started doing some yard work and cleanup. I'm going to try and show some of the progress that we. This is an area where not much got done. I did manage to work on the pathway a little bit. We had to have the water line replaced, and so they had dug this area across, tore up the sidewalk. I've started working on a wood rack. I still have more work to do on that. The greenhouse, I need to get the plastic back up over it. The wind knocked it off. This was the shipping crate that we got when we got the bush hog that we bought. I still need to finish dismantling it and getting rid of it. We wanted to keep the pallet though. It's really nice. I just need to figure out what I'm going to do with it and where I'm going to use it and get it moved. These hedges have been trimmed down, but we actually want to just remove them. We're just going to take it completely out. I don't know whether we'll allow it to try to regrow or whether we'll just keep it cut down and redo the area. We still have some that needs to be split up over here. We've got a pile here that I need to get the wood racks finished up so I can get this moved onto the wood rack and get it covered so it can dry back out. We cleared this area up here. There's some stuff in here that will come back in the spring and next summer, but at least right now we've got it cleared down to the ground. The corner up here is looking better. Like I said, there's still some work in this area, getting some stuff picked up and cleared out. And we've got stuff coming back this way. I've got a bunch of stuff on a burn pile here. As you can see, it's wet out here. So there's no burning the brush pile yet. We have stuff that we need to get picked up and moved around. But the side of the barn, or side of the garage here, has been fairly well cleared. I've still got a bunch of cinder blocks and brick and stuff that needs to be picked up and stacked so that we can figure out what we're going to do with it. This area was pretty heavily overgrown earlier. At least now it's a little more manageable, and then it's just a matter of keeping it cut down. There's still a bunch of stuff laying around that needs to be sorted out, moved, so we can clear the ground completely there. I've still got to do something with this trailer. The floor of it is rotted away. Basically just needs a new board attached, needs tires aired up, and then we'll have a trailer that we can use for some things once I get it sorted out. There's still some bricks and other stuff through here that needs picked up, disposed of. I just haven't figured out what I'm going to do. We have some fencing here that I'm going to have to work on to get stretched and reattached and figured out. This pile here, it's a little better than it was. It's a little more centralized, but there's still quite a bit of it, and a lot of it needs to be just disposed of. I'm just not sure how to dispose of it yet. I've got to fix up that window and get it closed up better. This is the back side of the garage. There's pieces of brick and concrete in the ground that need to be picked up and moved and stacked and got out of the way so that when we run the lawnmower, we're not hitting stuff. There's some more stuff over here that just needs gathered. This is the back side of the garage and barn. The roof had collapsed, and so we had this all torn out. Still a little bit of work yet to do to clean this up a little better, but it's a lot better than it was. I've still got to work on something for this back of the garage here. There's still some debris and stuff. There's some pieces of glass. This will have to be raked and cleaned up a little bit better, but it's a lot better than it was. A lot less stuff. We still have some weed tree stumps in the ground that I need to come through. Like here, there's one right there. It sticks up tall enough that the lawnmower will catch on it. So I have to, when I get a chance and it's dry, I can either try to dig that out with a pickaxe, or I will I've got an oscillating tool with a wood blade and just cut it right at the ground level. And then we can run the lawnmower and keep those trimmed down, and eventually they'll die away. And basically all the weed trees and brush and everything have been cleared away. Like I said, there's still a few little stumps here and there that stick up that I need to work my way through so that the lawnmower, or the bush hog actually, can be brought down through here and keep this cleaned up. We have a dead tree here that does need to come down. We need to cut it down and get rid of it before it actually falls. But the way it's leaning and as dead as it is, it's going to be difficult, and I'm not sure that I have the skill to actually take it down carefully. We have stuff that the neighbor's yard, we don't want to drop it across our fence into their yard because of their animals. Very careful. I have to try to bring it down on our side. We also have this section of fence over here that it could wind up falling on. We don't really want that. We don't want to damage our fence because of our animals. Not sure what that is. Something laying there. I have a tree stump that it's cut pretty well close to the ground, so that should be okay. Previous owner used this for a lot of this area for like dump site. He also had some trailers back here at one time. We've got lots of different things here and there, but this is looking a lot better than it was. With bent up tomato case that I found around. So bring this up over here. I don't want to leave it there too long. Put it right there so it's up off the ground so we don't hit it with a lawnmower or brush hog or anything like that. We don't want to tear up our equipment. But the fence line is looking a lot better. There's some honeysuckle and stuff up here that needs to be cut out. There's another tree that I want to remove, but we've got some fencing in there that I need to remove so that I can get to the tree so that I can take it down, because that's a tree we don't want. And then the honeysuckle, it's a matter of getting in there and very carefully cutting it out with something other than a chainsaw. The fence, let's see this one, the fence is up in the honeysuckle. That was a compost bin that we were using that has pretty well deteriorated. I'm going to get rid of it. The compost pile that we have that I need to work on, moved around and clean up. This was a patch that was really bad. I am so glad that this is a lot cleaner. There's still some rock and brick and debris, but all of the trees, all of the raspberry bushes have been cut out of here. This is groundhog den up under here. Looks like most likely the groundhog has gone into hibernation, if it hasn't left, which I doubt that it has left, but I can hope. We've had groundhog issues for a while, and so I'm hoping maybe the groundhog will have, because we've cleared so much of the area, there's not as much area for it to live in and hide in. So I'm hoping maybe it will go away. Otherwise, I will have to continue to work on getting rid of the groundhog. But this area, this was completely overgrown. There were weed trees, there was raspberry bushes, there was all sorts of stuff in here. At least we've got it cleared now. But it's a lot better than it was, and it'll be a lot easier to maintain. So by next spring, I can get back out here. You can see where there's still sprouts, raspberry bush. And I don't know whether we're going to want to maybe try to transplant a few pieces and put it somewhere where we actually grow a patch, or whether we'll let some of this grow back and have a patch here. I'm not sure what we have planned. This is another tree that really needs to come down, but now that all of that is cleared away, this would be a lot easier for me to drop. It is, of course, evergreen, so we can't burn it in our wood burner, but we could cut it down, clear it out of here, and have one more tree off the property that has been an eyesore and problem. The garden has some work that needs to be done. Like today, it's cold and rainy, and so I haven't been able to get out here and do anything. But it's looking a lot better as well. The fence line over there looks a lot better. Most everything has been cleared up and cut it back. I still need to work on the fence itself between the properties. I've got my roll of fence over here. That roll of fence was actually in that big old brush pile. It was laying on the ground with all this raspberry and weed trees and everything right out through it. I managed to get it cleared away, rolled up, and moved over to this area where I can actually use it to fence the property line down to the road, hopefully. I've got a couple more trees up over there that I need to take down, small ones. The one will be easy to drop. The other one is going to be a pain because it has a fence post that grew up in it. So I've got to be careful of the fence post. I've got to cut up above it and then bring it down. But most of this is looking a lot better. That was an overgrown area over there that has been removed. We'll be able to start fresh, put in a flower garden or something along those lines in that area, recover some of the plants that were there. This was a strawberry patch, strawberry plants growing in it. Get rid of that area yet. This hill was overgrown and it looks a lot better now. It has stuff that's in there that should hopefully come back. Some things have gotten cut down where it's supposed to be. Hopefully they will be okay and come back. There's at least one, I think it was a hydrangea, but we've got some other stuff. This stuff has been cleared better, so maybe some of this will grow and we can keep it trimmed up and cleaned up. There's a tree with a fence post leaning out of it, so I have to be careful how I cut that one. Plus it's leaning towards the neighbor's yard instead of towards ours, so that's another issue, being able to bring it down. And I'd like to drop it this direction, but we have these plants here that we don't correct that. I did cut one down over here. Don't need to clean up the wood crud, so I can split down, usable. I've got the bigger piece here, the long piece. Still need to cut into smaller, manageable pieces. Have this rough stretch over here, which is looking a lot better. It's been cleaned up, stuff trimmed back. We still got little branches and stuff laying all over everywhere, that just debris, stuff that comes down through the winter, small branches broken during windstorms. A lot of that is easily picked up. We run the lawnmower out here with the trailer behind it. Stop, pick up small branches, put them in the trailer, drive them around to wherever we're going to dispose of them. We've got a big burn pile back here again now. And like I said, once again, it's wet and rainy, so I can't burn that brush pile. We've had fires there this summer, probably about 5 or 6 times now, getting rid of stuff. Some just was overgrown and it's looking a lot better. This area up over here, we have wood that we had a couple trees that we cut down and have split. And we got a nice split wood pile here that needs to be hauled up front and put on wood racks. This area was heavily overgrown and we've got it cleaned up quite a bit. There's several of these tree, bush, whatever you want to call them, that we're saving. There's some more that we want to get rid of, but at least we've got a better workable area, at least right now. In the spring, I should be able to get back out here early, be able to take out like this one right here, middle needs to come out. We don't want to keep it. We're keeping that one. We'll keep that. The marker caution tape, the things that we're keeping. But this one, it'll need to come out. And that'll be a fairly easy removal because of the other work that's been done around it already. I can actually get to it. I can get it cleaned out of there. It'll be a lot better. This was an old compost pile. There's some debris and stuff over there. Bricks and concrete and that type of stuff. Just gathered up and put in a figured out location. I've got fencing here that I had started rolling up to remove. Now it's got stuff that's trees and stuff growing up through it. I've got to work to carefully remove so I can get that fencing taken down again, so I can actually get it stretched back out, properly attached, so that we can actually fence in the property line completely. I mean, we'll have a couple of spots where we have gates. This area had a lot of overgrowth as well. It's cleaned up quite a bit. Still needs a little bit of work, but we can get a little bit of work here and there, picking up sticks and stuff. We'll be able to bring the bush hog through here and get this area maintained, get it repositioned just a little bit where it's properly. Right now it's sagging in the middle and there's loose bolts and things. This other one was just built. There was a stump that I just tripped over here. Cut down farther so we can get lawnmower. This one was just recently put up, needs some work yet. And this is not actually where we want it because that's definitely a problem right there where it's up against the tree limbs, pushing them down. That would be a definite issue with the plastic. We put the plastic on. The fruit trees, I'm going to need to do some work on them, trimming them back down. We'll probably do that in January, get them topped and more manageable. But yeah, I've got some work to do here because this over this area. This area was very heavily overgrown. Lots of trees, small saplings and stuff we didn't want. We've removed all of that. It's looking a lot better, but once again, there's some rocks and things that I need to go through. There's some tires that I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with. And once again, there's some stumps, short pieces of stuff that needs to be removed. This area up here around the shed has been cleaned up, but there's still some stuff laying around that needs some work. This area looks a lot better than it did all the way out to the fence line. The fence line, once again, needs some work. We've got vines and stuff that had grown up through it that we need to get cut out from the fencing, removed, fixed up, and then put back where we want it and how we want it so that we can, and something done with the vines so that they have a structure to grow on without it being actually up into the fencing. This area, we fixed the fence there and we put up a barrier that we want to do that with basically the whole fence property. That gives us some privacy without actually building a privacy fence. Here's some more brick stuff that needs to be picked up and stacked and gotten out of the way so that we can run lawnmower and bush hog. Fence posts that need to be removed and repurposed in other places. This area is looking a lot better as well. That piece of fencing needs a little bit of work left to do on it, but it's a lot better than it was. I'm actually panels up over here, kennel panels. I'm going to actually be moving out to the edge over here and stretching towards the greenhouse, expanding Charlie, our dog, area that he can run. This is actually, I think, where we're going to put our tunnel houses. We've marked it off where we want them. There's some more area where it was heavily overgrown, but now we've got it cleared away. There's still stuff to move, stuff to deal with, stuff to throw away, but now we're actually able to see some of it. We found stuff that is, oh, here's where this was. This is, now we can dispose of this, but it's looking a lot better than it was. It was heavily overgrown. It's a lot clearer now. It will be a lot easier to maintain, especially having gotten the bush hog. We'll be able to run it along with the lawnmower and keep big areas cleared of the grass and the tall grass and the weed trees. We'll cut them down as they start growing, as they sprout, basically. We can run lawnmower through, knock them down, because that'll be something that's small enough that the lawnmower and the great bush hog can take out. I've got this bench. We saved it. Only got a couple of pieces of wood that's still attached. Once again, we got piles of stuff that I need to repurpose, figure out where it's going, what I'm going to do with it. But this is stuff that we're saving because it does still have a year. And there's still some trees that are down that need to be finished processing, cut into small pieces, disposed of. But this area is much nicer. It's cleaned up quite a bit. There's still work to be done, yes. It's not finished. I've got lawnmowers sitting here that I need to work on. Mainly the fact that I keep having carburetor issues. So I've got carburetors that I need to work on. But things are looking a lot better. A lot of the big weed trees that we really didn't want have been cut down. We've got wood piles now instead of trees. We've got a wood burner, so the wood is going to be used, but the yard itself is looking a lot better and will be a lot easier to maintain. I have lots of projects yet to work on. We've made major progress. There's still a lot to do. It's looking better, and I'm much happier. We'll see where we get. May not get much more done this fall and winter, but by spring, I should be able to get back out here, and I will be working on some of this stuff and getting it finished up. We'll have a nice looking yard again, nice looking property. Have a great day.